Hi folks, welcome back to our channel. We're continuing our Mexico series, and in this video we will be talking about Tulum. Mysterious place on the coast of the Caribbean Sea in Riviera Maya, a place of freedom, mindfulness, enlightenment and controversy. Is it just a hype Instagrammable location that has nothing to offer, or is it truly a pure idyllic place? Let's take a look and compare it to other famous locations like Cancun, Holbox and Puerto Escondido. It was my third time in Tulum. The city was less developed with fewer people, less businesses, infrastructure was being worked on, things have been in a state of flux. I keep hearing people talking about Tulum and how great it is and keep wondering what is so great about this city, so I decided to give it another chance. Tulum was our first stop in the 4 months journey around Mexico. It was my first time ever being in Mexico, and I really wanted to go to Tulum and see for myself what was all this buzz about. We arrived on the weekend and still had time to check into our Airbnb, set up our working stations for the week ahead, and also explore the area around and go to see the beach. After more than a year in lockdown, we were really excited to finally swim in the sea. Well, not so fast. Tulum is a beach town, yes, but it's kind of separated into two areas, a strip along the shore with lots of hotels and beach clubs, and downtown Tulum with cafes, restaurants, yoga studios, and so on. The distance between the two is pretty significant, and there's only one way to get there, through Avenida Coba. It runs from the edge of downtown Tulum towards Zona Hotelera. It's about 3.5 kilometers, which would be around 6 minutes drive or 40 minutes walk. Out of curiosity, we asked the taxi drivers how much it would cost to get to the beach. There were about 4 of them idling on the corner of Avenida Tulum and Avenida Coba, and the price tag they called was 400 pesos, roughly 28 Canadian or 20 US dollars for a 6-minute drive. We decided to explore the area and have a nice walk towards the beach. Nice, yeah, or so we thought. First of all, it's a pretty active road with a little sidewalk which also serves as a bike lane. And I must say some bike riders are not very nice to pedestrians. So what could have been a nice stroll became a quite stressful experience for us. Well, at least we know that there is a bike lane. We have 2 bikes at our Airbnb, so we can use them in the future to get to the beach, right? Right, yeah, but we later found out that our bikes had rusty chains and seats couldn't be adjusted. Keep this in mind when booking your Airbnb. Most likely the bikes won't be of good quality, and if you do want to ride a bike in the city, it's better to rent it from one of the many bike rentals places in Tulum and choose the bike for yourself. The sidewalk/bike lane didn't have good quality of pavement either. Sometimes after the rain there would be huge puddles and it would be really hard to get around them. After about 45 minutes of walking, we finally got to Zona Hotelera with the hope to get to the beach. But it was nowhere to be seen. All the area along the shore was not accessible to the public. It was all private territory of hotels and beach clubs. We kept on walking, and after asking around we found out that there was a public access to Zona Arqueologica, also called Playa Paraíso. It required another 20 minutes of walking, and this time it was through the jungle. No sidewalk at all. Cars passing you by and construction around. You get the full picture. Eventually we got to the beach. Right at the entrance we could see hundreds of bikes parked. That's how the majority of people get here. The beach itself was beautiful. A long-awaited sea met us with small waves and beautiful evening light. I have been to Tulum 2 times before, as I already mentioned. It was before all the hype started about the city. Back then the beach was almost deserted. Now we couldn't find an empty spot. The people were everywhere. That's the thing about beaches in Tulum. All public beaches would be crowded. You can find a spot in one of the many beach clubs, but you would obviously have to pay for that. Beach clubs are spread along the shore. You can stay in one of these hotels and use their private beach during the day, or just come here and pay for the day's visit. It's nice to have this option, but it's almost completely overtook the beach area. Very commercialized. It's sad to see how hotels and beach clubs took over the shore that is not acceptable to public anymore, and it shouldn't be so. There is not even a boardwalk or promenade there. When we were planning our stay in Tulum, we were hoping to walk during the day and go to the beach right after the work is done. But considering how inaccessible it was, by the time we would get to the beach after work, would be no sun on the shore. It was pretty lame and we gave up on going to the beach after work pretty quickly. We had to find a different way to entertain ourselves in the evenings. Keep in mind, Tulum was our first destination after arriving from Toronto. Traveling, exploring and working at the same time, at this time about 1 year ago, was still a bit new to us considering the very slow return to traveling after the pandemic. So we were still figuring out the day-to-day logistics and how we want to spend our time outside of working hours. I am sure we could have found a more efficient way, like working from the beach club or Selena hostel that is closer to the beach, but at that time we did not use any of the above options. On our way back from the beach, we took another route and it seemed a bit better.
We took another route through Zona Arqueologica, and you can see right here it's empty compared to what we had to experience because there were so many cars and so many bikes, and honestly it was unsafe to walk there. So this is way better, nicer and more calm.
When we next time went to the beach, we faced an issue of coming back downtown. There is only one road that connects the beach and the town, and there is no public transport on it. During rush hours, taxi drivers hike the prices and there is nothing you can do about it because there is no alternative. Also, the traffic jams can be so long that sometimes the 6-minute ride take you up to 1 hour. Alright, so apart from all of this, we're already in Tulum, so what is there to do? Well, it's definitely worth visiting Zona Arqueologica, especially if you've never been to any Mayan ruins before. This can be a good starting point. Zona Arqueologica is an ancient town of Mayan people standing atop the cliff, overlooking the sea. It has several buildings that presumably belong to the nobles, a temple, and a castle. It's a vast open territory with beautiful views of the Caribbean Sea. It includes an area with the preserved turtle nesting beach, and it has plenty of iguanas running around. Make sure to take a hat to cover your head, sunscreen and water. Also, during our visit, none of the washrooms were functioning, so it was a bit of a challenge. If you want to see more ancient ruins and the grandiose pyramids, it's worth taking a tour of Coba. It's about a 45-minute drive from downtown Tulum, and it has an actual Mayan pyramid that you can climb to. Also, around Tulum, you may find a great number of cenotes, the underground lakes where you can swim or dive into or even scuba dive into natural underwater caves. They are definitely worth seeing if you're anywhere in the Yucatan Peninsula. We especially like the Grand Cenote and Cenote Calavera, where you can jump onto an opening in the cave from about 13 feet or 4 meters high. In terms of food and restaurants, Tulum has a great variety of places to choose from. We found a nice Argentinian restaurant, seafood restaurants with giant portions of fresh ceviche, multiple street vendors selling tacos and quesadillas, and a lovely street market with a variety of food. Be mindful though when you're eating outside, it's a very hot climate and some salsas are stored outside in the open air the entire day, so they might be not as fresh by the evening. Price-wise, you can find any level you're comfortable with, but we still found it a bit more pricey compared to other parts of Mexico like Puerto Escondido or Mexico City. Coffee places even had similar prices to Toronto. Be ready to pay between $3 to $5 for your coffee in Tulum. Overall, we can say that, in our opinion, Tulum is strongly overrated. Big popularity with tourists is driving the prices up. There's not enough accommodation, the infrastructure is not ready. There is no proper sidewalks in the town and no public transportation. There are some colectivas running on the main streets, but they don't go to the beach. The fact that the beach and the town are so far away from each other without any proper connection makes it really frustrating, especially if you're on a short stay. I'm glad we went there though. I was interested to make up my own opinion about it, but I won't be looking into coming back here. There are plenty of other places in Mexico that are as beautiful and as interesting, but that are less dirty and have better infrastructure and prices. If you still want to go to Tulum after this review, decide whether you want to live at the beach or downtown. And also think ahead about your means of transportation. We hope you enjoyed this video and our review of Tulum. We might have disappointed some of you, or you may not agree with some of the examples that were given here. Please let us know in the comments below if that's the case. We are curious to hear your opinion about Tulum. Thank you for watching and see you next time.